Walking alone is a way to ease your mind. But what would you do about the shadows that lurk behind? Don't be afraid of the dark, for this is Tales from Around the Campfire. What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to episode 9. 9. Yes. Episode 9 of Tales from Around the Campfire. How are you guys? Hopefully, you guys are having a really great day today. Listen, um, I don't know what to say. It's episode 9. Um, the season's about to end. What, like 6 more episodes, and we're off to playing some scary games. For the rest of October and a special of Halloween on the 31st, of course. But yes, we're gonna be doing that as well. But yeah, I mean, I seriously don't know what to say. I don't know what to say, but the only thing I can say is that we're going to be taking a break from the 100. Well, actually, you know what? We're going to be taking a little break, a small, like, minuscule break from the website thoughtcatalog.com. Uh, and we're going to be going off to another website. Hold on, give me a second, all right? Because I'm not prepared, apparently. Whoo! Okay, yeah, so yesterday on thoughtcatalog.com, we left off on the 58th story, right? Because like I said, it was getting too long. Like, they're getting a little longer, and I don't want to make this video like longer than it should. Can I see my tabs, please? Thank you. So we're going to be going off to another website called countryliving.com with the um uh, title of this article is called 11 Best Scary Ghost Stories That Will Scare Your Socks Off. If you have socks, make sure you're, like, putting them all the way up. You know what I'm saying? Because these stories will definitely scare them right off. You know what I mean? But yeah, this article, it is by the Country Living staff. The whole staff that works around this website, and it was updated this year on September 13, 2019. Wow, look at that! Not too long ago. Um, but yeah, I don't really like to read the introduction of these articles. I just want to get right to it. But this is a forewarning for us in the website, and it goes like this: Beware. These scary stories are certainly not for the faint of heart. Even those who love horror movies and dive right into a frightening book will get chills from these tales. You might actually live near one of these haunted places, since these stories come from places all over the country. Or, after reading through the roundup, maybe you'll be inspired to visit the spooky areas mentioned. If you lived in the East Coast, you'll be especially interested in the Crying Lady in the Dakota, a famous apartment building located in New York City. John Lennon himself claims he saw a ghost roaming the halls of his residence. Um, so here we go. Here we go. That's all we're gonna read from the beginning. So the first story is called Sloss Furnaces, and it is we're pretty much going around the world, or around the country, actually, might I say. And our first country we're going to be visiting is going to be Birmingham, Alabama, and this story is called the Sloss Furnaces. All right. Birmingham, Alabama was founded in 1871, 5 years after the Civil War, and with it the need for tons of pig iron to fix America's crumbling infrastructure. To satisfy the domain, Colonel James Withers Sloss started construction on Sloss furnaces. A year later, the company opened its door to hundreds of employees. According to its official website, although working on blast furnaces was an advanced job, it was also dangerous. That danger was a that danger was soon released as many workers started being incinerated in the furnaces and falling to their deaths. Conditions only worsened in the early 1900s after a cruel foreman, James Slang Wormwood, took a job at Sloss. According to Reader's Digest, I guess that's another website, Wormwood took a dangerous risk in order to increase production. As a result, nearly 50 employees died on site, and many were involved in terrible accidents during his uh, tenure. Allegedly, in retaliation, his workers tossed him into a furnace in 1906. You can still you can still tour the grounds today if you dare. While there, you might just hear the voices of Slag telling his employees to get back to work. Along with other paranormal occurrences, Sloss even hosts a Fright Night every year around Halloween that's based heavily on the Slag story. I'm gonna try to keep my comments to a minimum, but you know, these are my first time reading the stories. But look at this. Halloween's almost near for us, and I bet you, uh, you know, the people there, I guess generations to come, right, are putting up a haunted house sort of thing. If you guys live by Alabama, do let me know if you go there, and if you're going there traditionally, that would be interesting to read. Next up, we're gonna pack our bags and we're gonna go to New York, New York, and the story of the crying lady in the Dakota. The Dakota, an apartment building in New York City, has been home to many rich and famous residents and since it opened back in 1884. John Lennon and Yoko Ono moved into the building in 1973, and John was also assassinated outside of the structure on December 8th, 1980. Before his death, John claimed he saw a crying lady ghost roaming the halls. Then, after John died, Yoko, who still lives in the building, said she witnessed John's ghost sitting at his piano. Yoko says John told her, "Don't be afraid. I'm still with you." The Dakota. The picture here shows a building. Kind of like a gothic exterior. My bad. So it does look very expensive to stay a night. And if you guys do manage to stay the night in the Dakota in New York City, or just pass by, do send pictures. I would love to see them and the stories you have if you guys see anybody in the window. That'll be interesting. That'll be interesting to see. Next up, we're gonna hit the road again, and we're gonna go to Adams, Tennessee, with the story of the Bell Witch. If you're a scary movie lover, you might actually know about the Bell Witch. The films An American Haunting and The Blair Witch Project are both based on the story. Way back in the early 1800s, a man named John Bell moved his family to an area in Tennessee called Red River, which is now known as Adams, Tennessee. After they had settled in the new home, some particular things started to happen. The Bell family began hearing some bizarre noises, including dogs barking, chains rattling, rats chewing, and a woman whispering. Soon, the woman became known as the Bell Witch, and many people believe she's the ghost of a former neighbor of the Bells, of the Bells, yeah, Kate Batts. Batts and the Bells had a dispute over land, and she had sworn vengeance on the Bell family before she died. Later on, Bell died from poisoning and is rumored to be the works of the Bell Witch. Oof. Adams, Tennessee, huh? I mean, I've seen the Bell Witch, the Blair Witch Project, and a lot of people, say it's fake. I mean, it could be fake. Maybe it's all a ruse from the director. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe it is real, but, since he doesn't want to spook anybody out of their minds, they're saying, oh, no, yeah, we made it up. Yeah, don't worry about that. Shh, keep it on the down low. You know what I'm saying? Oh, man. An American Haunting, I did see it too. Two very good movies. You know what I mean? I mean, one of them is what is it? A lost found footage or whatever? A found footage, which is the Blair Witch Project. I haven't seen the new one that came out, and I haven't played the game because your boy is cheap. And I'm not about to drop like $30 or $40 on it. No way. You know what? We're gonna go down the road, right? We're gonna go away from Adams, Tennessee. We're gonna hit the first big road that we see. We're gonna hitchhike our way all the way to Eureka Springs in Arkansas with the story of the ghosts of the Crescent Hotel. Spend the night in the haunted Crescent Hotel in Eureka Springs, Arkansas, which opened in 1886. During construction, a worker named Mitchell was killed, and his ghost reportedly still haunts room 218. The hotel came under the ownership of known medical fraud Norman Baker in 1937, who financed himself as a doctor. He turned the hotel into a Baker Cancer Hospital, claiming to have the cure for the disease. He did not, obviously. Patients who died under his care were buried right in the hotel's basement, which served as a makeshift morgue. He was arrested in 1940, but his patient spirits are said to still remain. Since the hotel is still open, guests often say they see apparitions and hear noises during their stays. Sci-fi's Ghost Hunters even has footage of something moving in the basement. You know, I love watching these ghost hunters. They're pretty interesting, fake or not. They're pretty interesting to watch. Just you flip into the channel on your TV, you see ghost hunters, and why not? Why not? But I do remember watching Ghost Hunters, and I don't know if I remember watching the episode on the Crescent Hotel. But if you do live by Arkansas, Eureka Springs, do let me know. Actually, you know what? Maybe the haunting thing about these hotels is the price over the night. You know what I'm saying? Because you ain't paying $100 to stay the night. Woo! No way. Your wallet's gonna take a backstab. You know what I'm saying? Okay, we're moving on. We're moving on. We're moving on to. We're gonna hop into someone's car. We're not gonna tell them because they're probably going to Alabama, Abeville. I think that's how you pronounce it. Alabama, Abeville, with the story of hugging Molly. It is best to stay at home when the sun sets in Abeville, Alabama, if you want to avoid hugging Molly's chilling embrace. As the legend goes, beginning in the early 1900s, an oversized figure clad in black began roaming the streets at night, looking for unsuspecting victims. Once she's fixated on someone, she hugs the person and screams very loudly into the ear. Many people have recounted the story of being chased by what they believe was hugging Molly. Local parents have even taken advantage of these stories to keep their children in line. The town embraces its nighttime warden, proudly calling itself the home of hugging Molly. There's even a family-friendly restaurant named after her. Sherboy could go for a hug. Um, Alabama, here it comes. Alabama, here it come. Sweet home Alabama. Hey, look, listen. Being hugged by somebody, could not be bad, even if that somebody is a ghost. Oh, Chase is a ghost. But, maybe Molly just wanted affection before she died. Who knows? I mean, your boy surely needs affection. Please. Oh my God! Listen, we're gonna stop by the Huggin' Molly restaurant, right? We're gonna get a bite, and we're also gonna get a taxi to the nearest bus station, right? Because we are gonna go straight to Georgia, Surrency, with the story of the Surrency House Ghost. The Surrency clan began experiencing paranormal activities in present day Surrency, Georgia, in 1870s. Family members reported witnessing objects soaring across the rooms, hearing laughter and crying, and seeing red eyes staring into the house. Food was thrown from their plates and utensils twisted into unusable shapes. The townspeople speculated that These occurrences were cries for help from spirits who thought the family would be able to save them. One day, on the day the family decided to finally leave the house, a fire iron allegedly floated up in the air and started hitting one of the sons in the head. No one was ever brave enough to live in the house again, and the building went up in flames in 1925. Wow. I mean, I don't know. Surrency, Georgia, eh? The Surrency clan. I wonder what they think if they're still alive. You know what I'm saying? Because if Surrency is the last name, you know, first of all, it's kind of a unique last name. You know what I'm saying? But secondly, if they're still alive, you know, like has their generations actually, you know, continued with the story? You know what I'm saying? You know, like their great grandpa telling their moms, you know, and people who like marry into the family. You know, I wonder. I wonder. And you know what? We're gonna take this time to to look for my water bottle actually, because I don't. Oh, there it is. Also, we're gonna take it this time to say thank you guys for coming. I really do appreciate it. You know, this series does mean a lot to me because I do love reading horror stories. I do like watching horror movies. You know, and creepy pastas. You know, put that in there. Sprinkle that up top. You know what I'm saying? Because they're interesting. You know what I mean? Some of them are fake. Some of them are real. And you know, come on, who doesn't like a scare nowadays, right? Like every once in a while, you know, you want to get scared, you want to get spooked, and it's the best. And me reading it to you guys, it's also the best. So I really appreciate you guys staying here with me, and you know, around the campfire, and you know, hearing my beautiful voice. I don't know, jeez. Also, I want to do say that if you are planning to use your phone while you drive, let me just say that that is one story that I don't want to read and also don't want to hear as well, because I've actually experienced people driving while on their phones, and it's a nuisance, right? It's a nuisance, and I actually seen cops being right next to them and doing jack about it. You know, come on, dude. Oh my god. Yes, I know you can multitask, but please put your phones away. Give your phones to your moms or dads, whoever's in the car, and you know, tell them, hey, you know, if I have a message, please let me know. I would love to know. You know what I'm saying? Um, or just wait until you get to your destination, right? Come on, you know, just put your phones away while you drive. All right, that's what I'm trying to say. I want to keep you guys safe. I want to keep me safe as well, and I want to keep people from the streets safe as well too, from drivers who think they can, you know, rev up their Mustangs or their Honda Civics and texting little Jimmy or Clarissa. I don't know. Just don't play with your phones, dang it, jeez. So, from Georgia, we're gonna go straight down to Florida. All right, no other way but, you know, the highway, which is an airplane. We're gonna buy an airplane ticket. We're gonna wait in the airport on Florida, but we're gonna be taking a taxi straight to Mariana, Florida, with the story of the ghost of Bellamy Bridge. For a taste of true haunting love, travel over to this spooky bridge in Mariana, Florida, which has several ghost legends surrounding the structure. According to its official website, in 1830, Elizabeth Jane Crump Bellamy married a local politician, Dr. Samuel C. Bellamy. On their wedding night, her dress accidentally caught on fire, which covered the young bride in horrible burns. She initially survived, but eventually passed away. Elizabeth was buried along the banks of Chipola River. I do apologize if I butcher that one. And it was said that her love for her husband was so strong she couldn't resist. The deceased newlywed, dressed in white, can allegedly be seen wandering the banks of the vantage point of the bridge, which was built after she died. She said that she appears on fire, either walking through the swamps or diving straight into the river, as if to doze the flames off, or somberly walking along the side of the riverbank. Ooh. I mean, if this is how the bridge looks, first of all, this is a whack bridge. I'm just say this. They could have done a better job. If this was supposed to be like a memorial for the lady, this the bridge could have been nicer looking. You know, if you're by Mariana, Florida, you know, take a quick pic, and just dip, just in case. You know, just in case you see the bride. And let me know if the bridge looks the same because right now the bridge does really look whack. Yeah, I'm just saying. Oof. Oh my goodness Christ. Anyways, moving on, moving on. All right, we're gonna catch the first plane to Mississippi, Biloxi. I hope I did say that right. All right. For the story of the ghost of Deer Island. Back on May 1922, Anthony Ragusin, aka Mr. Tony, relayed this tale on a column on the Sun Herald. He writes that in the early 1800s, two fishermen spent the night on Deer Island off of Biloxi's coast. They heard noises that they ignored until it became impossible to do so. When they went to see what was causing the ruckus, they found a headless skeleton that ran off the pair. They immediately made a beeline off their boat and got off the island immediately. It is said that the bony frame belongs to the pirate who had his head chopped off by his captain, and his body was left behind as a ghastly guard to watch over his buried treasure. Would you look at that? Hey, look, listen. I always knew um, pirates existed. I always do. And buried treasure, dude. Probably Deer Island is full of buried treasure. But this homie here is still being loyal. Actually, you know what? No, not being loyal because the captain of a ship don't just be like, hey, off with this dude's head. He's gonna guard my stuff. I don't think so. You know, I don't know. So he probably did something, probably mutiny, off with his head. You know, that doesn't make any sense. Yeah, it doesn't. You know, because to my knowledge, being a captain of a pirate ship, you know, meant that your crew should have been loyal. Alright, so if they beheaded him, he must have did something wrong. You know, mutiny, stealing from the captain, or probably just being a straight out dingus. So who knows? Who knows? Who knows what really happened? And you know what? We're gonna wait for the next ghost pirate ship that comes by, and we're gonna be like, "Hey, can we have a ride all the way to Missouri Wildwood?" All right. I don't know if that makes sense because I think Missouri is like in the middle of the United States, and we're just we're still gonna hitch a ride. I mean, it's a ghost ship, so it could go over the water. Look at that. I seen Peter Pan. Anyways. We're going to go straight to Missouri Wildwoods with the story of Zombie Road. Outside of St. Louis lies Zombie Road, a hotbed of ghostly activities. There are many scary stories stemming from Lawler Ford Road, its actual name, from sightings of Native American spirits wandering the stretch to victims of train accidents. There used to be active tracks there, like Dalla Hamilton McCullough, I don't know how to pronounce that name, I'm sorry, who was struck by a passing train. In the 1950s, it became a popular late-night teen hangout spot with various murders happening in the area too. It has also been rumored to be a home base of a murderer named Zombie, who escaped the mental asylum. These days, the stretch has been rechristened, I don't know, as a natural trail, but is closed once night falls. Okay, so we just read a story for Zombie Road. That's pretty interesting. Pretty interesting story, you know. I mean, a guy named Zombie walking around. I don't know. But why would you name yourself Zombie, first of all? Right? But, to each his own. Just don't trespass at night because, I guess the only scary thing about the stories that you're going to be finding a lot of money. Sir. Okay, moving on. We're gonna go straight from Missouri wild woods, and you know what? We're gonna do it in the daylight because it's probably gonna take a long time, and we're gonna go straight to Weatherford, Oklahoma. All right, with the story called Dead Man's Crossing. This one's a regular murder mystery turned ghost story, according to Atlas Obscura in the early 1900s in Weatherford, Oklahoma. Katie DeWitt James left her home with her baby after she filed her divorce from her husband. She planned to move in with her cousin, but her family never heard from her again. After an investigation, it turned out that she moved in with local prostitute Franny Norton. She was last seen leaving the house with Franny and her child in a carriage. Franny returned with the child, who was covered in blood but without Katie. Her body was found later along a nearby creek with her head cut off. It was rumored that her ex-husband had killed with Franny's. Oh, okay. It's been rumored that her ex-husband was killed her with Franny's help, but Franny claimed she wasn't involved in Katie's death. But on the day she was supposed to be questioned by the police, she poisoned herself. Katie is still around though. She allegedly appears as a blue floating light. Blue floating light around the town, and people have reported hearing a woman looking for her baby and the rolling sound of a wheel. That's messed up, bro. Come on, man. Okay, so hold on. Katie, all right, I'm not gonna say the full name. Katie went to what's her face? Went to Franny for help, but Franny ended up murdering her with dude, and then she ended up killing herself, dude. That's messed up. That is like seriously messed up. I mean, why would you do that? Like they're going for you for help because something was wrong with her husband, and apparently that something was correct because she got beheaded with the help of her friend or of her, like, the person that she was trying to get help from. That's messed up. Last but not least, we're gonna go straight. We're gonna drive all the way down to Louisiana, Francisville, with the story of the Myrtles Plantation. I think we read this one, right? But the one that we read was a song from Myrtles Plantation. I think this is a different one too. Of the numerous spirit hauntings in the plantation, built in 1796 in St. Franceville, Louisiana, the most known entity is Chloe, according to the official website. It's said that the plantation owner, Clark Woodruff, carried on an affair with his slave, Chloe, which he ended abruptly. She began to eavesdrop on his conversations, and he caught her. As punishment, he cut her ear off. Ooh. She then poisoned the rest of his family with a birthday cake, leaving him alone. The other slaves knew what she had done and hung her. She supposedly still remains in the property, though there is a photograph from 1992 where her spirit is reportedly visible. Moral of the story is don't cheat. Period. Right? I mean, why would you do so, right? Why would you cheat on somebody? I mean, come on, man. If you're not happy with that person, just leave. Don't go off cutting other people's ears and doing things, right? Doing bad things. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty bad. That is pretty bad. But yes, those were 11 stories off of the website that I totally just, turned off. Dang it. That I turned off. But yeah, they were interesting stories, from around the country. If you live by those places named in this video, do let me know. And let me know if there is actually like you've seen things in these places, because that would be very interesting knowing somebody that has actually seen stuff. You know what I'm saying? Um, but yeah, that would be that would be very interesting. Um, I am trying to find the website that had like the two sentence stories so we can finish off this video, because something came up and your boy has to go. Hmm. I think it's this one, but I don't remember where we left off last time. I do believe we read up until 10, and there's like 20. So we're gonna read the rest. All right. So we're gonna read from 11 onwards. All right. So these are two sentences horror stories or scary stories. All right. I was having a pleasant dream when what sounded like hammering woke me up. After that, I could barely hear the muffled sound of dirt covering the coffin over my own screams. And this one's by uh, Vigrid Derana. I can't sleep, she whispered, crawling into my bed with me. I woke up cold, clutching the dress she was buried in. By Volt Kid 321. Just another muffled bow, wrote. I began tucking him into bed, and he tells me, Daddy, check for monsters under my bed. I look underneath for his amusement and see him, another him, under the bed, staring back at me, quivering and whispering, Daddy, there's someone on my bed. Madam, I am the what? Madam, Madame wrote, you got home, tired, after a long day's work, and ready for a relaxing night, alone. You reach for the light switch, but another hand is already there. Grabboy27 wrote, I can't move, breathe, speak, or hear, and it's so dark all the time. If I knew it would be this lonely, I would have been cremated instead. Iron wrote, she went upstairs to check on her sleeping toddler. The window was open and the bed was empty. Genetically witless. I never go to sleep, but I keep waking up. Scuppy said, my daughter won't stop crying and screaming in the middle of the night. I visit her grave and ask her to stop, but it doesn't help. Koba Collapse wrote, after working a hard day, I came back home to see my girlfriend cradling our child. I didn't know which was more frightening, seeing my dead girlfriend and stillborn child, or knowing that someone broke into my apartment to place them there. And finally, Gustalos said, there was a picture in my phone of me sleeping. I live alone. All right. This episode was interesting. We went around the country. We read a lot of stories. True stories of their of their places. I guess I can say. The most interesting to me is actually Hugging Molly. Because oops, I hit the mic. Because like I said, who wouldn't want to hug, right? Everybody nowadays, or every now and then, needs a hug. Um, just let it flow. So thank you guys for coming. I really appreciate it. If you guys want to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, you could do so. The links will be in the description below. If you guys have any stories to tell, the season's about to end. Do please send them to me over my Twitter or on the comment section down below, so I can read them and I will give credit where credit is due. All right, do that and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? That's it. That's pretty much it. But yeah, do that, and I'll read them. If you have any, stories for like the upcoming special for Halloween, let me know. If it's personal, if it's too personal, don't write them. And yeah, if you guys want to share it with the world, do leave them in the comment down below, and I'll read them. And yeah, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Episode 8 was great. I love it. And so, When dusk begins to settle in and the moon begins to quail the sun, remember to always look behind you. Until the next one, peace out, everybody.